We still have the Yixiang battery case here, fully empty. And we also have the Yixiang cells here. So why not put the Yixiang cells into the Yixiang box as it was intended? Guys, welcome back to the Off-Grid Garage here in sunny, hot Australia. Yes, it is sunny, hot again. Look at this beautiful weather. 120 amps today. That's a record for winter so far. It is of course now late afternoon and we've got still 24 amps outside. Nice, sunny and warm. Yeah, and for some reason I can't help myself. I have to build another battery. Man, and this one should be so easy here because the Yixiang box already comes pre-configured. BMS is mounted, all the cables are in, the communication board is mounted, the display, the terminals, the breaker, everything is already done for you. You really just have to put your batteries in there, connect the bus bars and balance cables, and you're done. And you may remember the video I did about the Yixiang battery cells. And we tested 4 of these batteries and 2 of them showed a bit of an abnormal charge voltage curve. So the voltage of these 2 batteries rose basically prematurely. The voltage curve of these 2 cells were above all the other cells we have tested here on the channel. We've compared with certified batteries, with B-grade batteries, all EVE LF280K as these ones are here, but they look different, right? And my friend from up north got personal again and said he has seen this before, which brand new cells which have never been cycled. So obviously these batteries here are so new, the voltage curve looks a bit different to what we have seen before. And the recommendation here was to cycle these batteries for a few times until they get their normal charge curve. And this is exactly what we are going to do today. But I don't want to test individual cells. I want to test these cells here as a battery. And we can either hook up the BMS then to Home Assistant and let Home Assistant take care of all the batteries, of all the data, show us all the graphs of all individual cells, or we can use the Victron system for this as well. So we've got multiple options here to monitor the cells while they are charging and discharging. Just taking off one of the sticky tapes here so the actual epoxy sheets stay in place until we've got the first cell in. Oh, goes this way around. Alright, so they stay in place now. That's much better. Okay, let's have a look how we put these cells into this case here. Very easy. We've got our positive terminal here. This is the positive bus bar. It's a direct connection between your terminals and the main positive of your battery. So obviously this is cell number 16 because we always start with cell number 1 on the most negative. Cell number 1. There we go. This will be our most negative going from the battery to the BMS. Now we've got cell number 2. Goes the other way in. Negative, positive. Cell number 3, and number 4, 5, 6, 7. So in here at the very far end we put an epoxy sheet and a sticky foam, but we just put the foam and we don't stick it. And this would be our cell number 8. Epoxy sheet, sticky foam, cell number 7. Epoxy sheet, sticky foam, cell number 6. I hope you get the idea, right? So in one of the next steps we have to take off the front panel of the case, and thankfully they have used Phillips bit screws and not Allen key as all the other boxes. Terrible! I hate Allen key. Just leave it like this, because this now gives us access to the 4 screws here, which pushes in the compression plate and compresses our cells slightly. And we have tested this before, right? When we reviewed the case, epoxy, sticky foam, epoxy, sticky foam, epoxy, sticky foam, all the way through at the front and end as well, and it fits perfectly. We can snug tight these screws and we've got the right compression for these cells then. And here you will see now how nicely they are coming together. when compressing. This row first, bottom this row, and top this row, middle, bottom, middle. Done. So here in the Yixiang do-it-yourself battery case, we don't need to worry about any torque settings for these screws for the compression plate. Just tighten them and the compression will be just right. So here again we've got the JK inverter BMS installed. Main negative is over here. This is the connection to the BMS then. This is our battery number 1, and on the other side is battery number 16, which is our main positive. I'll just make sure all the connections are tight. This is all pre-configured by Yixiang already, so it should be all good. Alright, this is all we need to do. We can put this back together. And we can really finalize this now, putting all the screws in the front plate, because we don't need to open this anymore, ever, hopefully. Not in the next 20 years, hopefully. Okay, all the screws are in, all the holes are lining up. Perfect fit, perfect look. So there's also a slight upgrade now to these PCBs here going across the cells and connecting all your balance cables to the battery terminals. Usually they don't come like this one here. They don't come with any insulation under the screws, yeah, which holding down the PCB on this metal rail. And they are now including these epoxy washers. I can potentially see why, because this screw here, for example, see, it touches the track, and if the paint here on this PCB gets somehow scratched and the screw gets contact with the track, you have one of your batteries having contact with the whole battery case. I think the chances are not very high that this actually happens, but obviously it has happened, so they have now included these upgrades, epoxy washers, and also more sticky foam going under these metal rails. Okay, we use the sticky foam here, lining up the holes roughly. And bang, stick it on. So Yixiang has just upgraded the box with these two features. So now we can install these two PCBs. The B board goes on the right to cell number 16. You can see there's a white connector and a white connector here. This one has a black connector and there's a black connector. There's a black connector over here. So you can't mix it up, right? Two screws on each side and all the holes are perfectly lining up. Unlike with other cases we have seen before. And this is also now a good time to wear safety glasses and cover the side of the battery you are not working on. Because now we have put the bus bars on, we have created a 48 volt system. Well, not quite, because I haven't put this link in yet. I can't find the bus bar which actually fits there. Is it just a normal one now? No. See, the normal one doesn't fit. Needs to be a little bit longer. But somehow I have misplaced it somewhere. And you can use some packaging material or cardboard or rag. It doesn't really matter as long as one side is covered so you can work on the other side safely. It is also a good idea to keep this link between these two rows off until the very end of your installation. Alright my friends, this is all very straightforward. We've got writing here on the PCB, battery 1 negative goes to the negative, battery 1 positive goes to the positive of the battery. Then battery 2 positive, battery 3 positive, battery 4 positive, and so on. Interestingly is that we have a battery 9 positive and also a battery 9 negative. So again, here we can see that we have one connection over here and one connection over here, and there will be a bus bar later on. So basically these two wires are measuring the same voltage here. This is the same connection. And I'm still getting emails and reading comments under my videos about this feature or problem. So yes, you have two balance cables connected to the same terminal basically. And all the way here on the main positive, we also have to connect the main positive for the BMS. This is because of the current limiter the BMS has. So there's the main positive bus bar, the main positive for the BMS, and the B16 plus cable all connected to one terminal. All right, let's put 4 Newton meters on all these nuts here, and then we are done. I also opted in for one of Maddie's flexible bus bars she has sent me a while back to link our 2 rows together. Probably the other way around. So you're not touching the metal here with a cable. Then connect these 2 balance cables. This one over here. Bang, done. If you haven't seen her channel yet, I'll link this down below. She's converting a diesel sailboat to full electric. And she's currently trying to figure out how all these motor controllers and helm situations work. Just click on the link under the video here and see for yourself. 4 Newton meters. Okay, this is something I'm doing. Once all the connections are torqued, I use a pen and mark the connections. So later on I can see I have not forgotten one. And usually I torque a connection and then mark it. Torque, mark, torque, mark. I have not done this here because I have forgotten about it. So I torque them all first, then I mark them all, and then I torque them again, just to double check I have not forgotten one. But it's all good. Okay, this concludes the build of the battery basically. We just need to connect the balance cables now, activate the BMS and see if everything works. But before that, it is that time of the day. Guys, thank you so much for all your donations and buying me a beer. I will calibrate this bed now. It is very much appreciated and temperatures are rising. I need it. Thank you very much. So, and here with this box we don't need to care about the order of the balance cables because this is all pre-configured and these balance cables are so short you cannot mix them up with another cell. So they are definitely in the right order already. And we just need to connect these balance cables coming from the BMS to these PCBs now. And the second one over here. And now we should be able just turn it on. Got lights. Display comes on. 0%! Or 99, this is better. Yeah, I'll take the 99 actually. So we have a look here at the cell voltages. If there's any bad reading somewhere. They're all at 3.29 something volts. Perfect. No alarm. Oh, there is an alarm actually, but I think this is just a cell count which we need to set up in the BMS. How do I change the, here. English. It's the overcharge protection is on. What does that mean? Damn it. So, and this concludes already the build of the Yixiang do-it-yourself battery box here. We put the lid on, put all the, this way, put all the screws in, and I can tell you already the holes are lining up perfectly. What do you reckon? Should there be a cover here, like a big epoxy sheet covering all these terminals? This is all exposed now. I think so, like Google Power does, right? One big epoxy sheet on top of that, and then we can put the metal lid on it, and we are safe and secure. Yeah, Yixiang feature request. So, and after turning on the battery, we want to upgrade the BMS to the latest firmware version, 15 point something, I'll have a look. You just need a normal network cable, a LAN cable. There's no crossover necessary or any A to B cable or something. It's just a regular, normal network cable. And you want to plug this into RS4852, one of the 2 ports here on the right. And the other end goes into an RS4852 USB adapter cable. I'll link some of them below. I've tested them. They all work with JK BMS and all the other BMSs as well. So for this process, it is important to set your BMS to number 1. So the dip switch on the left-hand side, which is the first one, needs to be on, all the other ones on off. So BMS needs to be number 1 and the software needs to be number 1 as well, and then they can communicate. So we've got real-time access to the BMS now. We click on About, want to see what kind of BMS we have. We have a PB2A16S200, so that's the 200 amp version with a 2 amp active balancer. And we are running software version 15.18. And the first thing we want to do, we want to bring this one up to 15.24. There's already a 27 version online, but this is buggy. But apparently it has some issues. I haven't tested it myself, but some of you have tested it already and said there is some issues with the current. It doesn't show negative, positive currents anymore. So we stick with the 15.24 for the moment. Click on these 3 dots, upload firmware. So we're going into the 15.24 folder, and there are 4 versions on there. One is for the 100 amp BMS, the 150 with a 1 amp balancer, 150 amp BMS with a 2 amp balancer, and we have the 200 amp BMS with a 2 amp active balancer. So we need to select this one. That's why I checked what kind of BMS is actually in this battery box. So here, start updating. Takes only 20 seconds. Successful. Okay. Close. Go to About again. And now we can see we are on 15.24. So perfect. All right, and now we want to wheel our battery into the battery room and connect it to the power wall and the solar. We've got our Victron Servo GX running, and you can see there's the BMS CAN ports. Yeah, one has the terminator, the other one has the Victron Type A cable plugged in, which goes all the way down here. And here it says battery BMS CAN Type A, and this is the one we want to connect to our CAN port here on the BMS, which you can't see anymore. And now we should have communication. Yeah, we can see the inverter BMS here. It says 52.67 volts. Quickly confirm this. 52.67 volts. Yeah, perfect. Details. Highest, lowest voltage and temperature. 1 battery online, 280 ampere hours. And here under parameters, we can see 55.2 volts. This is the 3.45 we have set times 16. 38 amps maximum charge current. 40 amps minus 5%. And also discharge current is 200 amps minus 5%. So this all works fine. I have to connect it to the Powerwall 2 point something, whatever it is now. So we're getting some solar from the pool fence system tomorrow. All right, my friends, I've now connected the battery to positive negative of our Powerwall 2 point something here. And it will be charged by solar from tomorrow on, pool fence system. About 20 amps for a couple of hours a day. So it may take a few days actually to fully charge this battery. I'll get you back here on camera when we're getting closer to 90-95%. Voltages are rising, and then we should already see a difference. All right, my friends, we are up and running. We are prepared for the big test of the battery test. We will have a detailed look at the battery in the second part of this video here. Stay tuned for that. This was more like putting the battery together, get everything done, and having another look at the Yixiang do-it-yourself battery box. And as you have seen, it is super easy to build this battery box because everything is already pre-configured. BMS is done, display, communication, all the cabling, everything is done. You just put your battery cells in, connect your bus bars, connect the balance leads. So building a battery has never been easier than with the Yixiang do-it-yourself battery kit. Link is down below if you haven't seen it. I think at the moment it's one of the best do-it-yourself cases on the market. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your amazing support here on the channel. Oh, I haven't got my mobile phone. I don't know how many new subscribers we have. 92,300 plus something. We will find out in the next video as well. Welcome to all the new subscribers. As I said earlier, thank you so much for buying me a beer, a coffee, becoming a channel member. This is all great support, or just leaving a comment under the video, sharing, liking. This is all very much appreciated and helps the channel out immensely. Yeah, this basically makes all these videos possible. And I'm again getting an increased number of emails. Guys, please don't send me emails with any requests or any questions, technical stuff. I'm not even able to read all of them. It would take me hours each day to do that. Please leave all your requests, all your questions down in the comment section. If you want to say hello, do this all down under the videos. That's where I am. That's where I'm reading. That's where everyone else of this great community is reading. Other people help you out. It's not just me. I'm just holding this camera. That's all. So please do not send me an email. It is just too many. I'm really sorry. Okay guys, until the next video when we continue our testing of the Yixiang batteries, now in the Yixiang do-it-yourself battery kit. And we want to find out if cell number 6 and 12 was it? If they are still rising in voltage now when they're charged as a pack. I would expect yes. Why would they change their behavior, right? And then we want to connect this battery to the battery shelf as well and want to cycle it a couple of times during the next few days and see if this behavior of a rising voltage on single cells is actually disappearing over time. So this will be a very interesting experiment and I'm looking forward to find out what is going on with these battery cells. Guys, until the next video, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye bye.